would be to check who has access to what, an access audit. Common issues that people have is every staff uses a single shared admin password for the organization website. You know what I'm talking about? There's a single website, there's a single login credential that everybody uses to access the same thing. You should not do that. As much as possible, let everybody have their own account to access that thing. So, the day that something happens, we know who was visiting and then we know where to track vulnerability. So you do that. Zombie accesses, so you remove people that are no longer there. Let me just leave this. Let me get right to this. So principle of least privilege. That means that you limit access and resources to only the staff that needs it. So that's the first principle, least privilege. Then you have role-based roles. That means that there's an admin, there's an editor. You know, Google Docs allow you to do that. There's viewer, there's editor, there's who can comment. You should do the same thing with some of your documents and some of your files as an organization. Who can remove it, who can edit it, who can check it, and things like that. Also, you need to have, as an organization, a proper set in stone offboarding plan. And I know that we used to have offboarding interviews and things like that, but I'm talking about an offboarding plan that includes offboarding this person from every technical role that the person had. If the person had access to Google Drive, you have to ensure it's done, is removed. If the person has access to email, it's removed. If the person has access to files or a website that is for the organization, all of those things need to be removed. So you need to have a proper plan with offboarding where you can revoke permissions. This person is leaving this organization, so he can no longer have access to our website to update anything. He can no longer have access to our emails to send any group email. Those things you need to do. And then you need to have systematic audits. From time to time, it's scheduled. Every January, April, July, and I think October, right? Those are the start of the quarters. We go through our assets, our digital assets, our phones, our emails. We check everything and be sure that everything is as it should be. That's a very important thing. So you need to know who is WhatsApp admin, who is Google admin, who is managing the finances, and things like that. Phishing. We didn't have time for phishing today. How phishing is important, so before you turn to fish. So what I would say, because we didn't have the time for phishing today, is you would on the IETA website we have like a phishing game you can go through, but Google has something that is even better than what we did. I remember saying somewhere, someone's like, you're saying something that is better than your own. I say at the end of the day, it's not did they visit our website, it's are they protected? And then when we have something as good as Google, we'll tell you it's as good as Google. Google has, so if you go online and you search phishing game Google, just put those 3 words. Phishing, you know phishing now, PHISH. Good. Phishing game Google. If you search that online on your Google, you would find the first, usually should be the first link, a phishing jigsaw game, where Google allows you to then learn how to identify phishing emails. There are a list of things that it shows you, and it explains when you are wrong, what to spot, what you did not check, what you need to check, and all those many things. So please do that. I don't think we would have the time for that. But you must build a culture of professional skepticism, and that's what this is about. So you must be able to identify phishing, smishing, vishing, WhatsApp spoofing, and things like that. So some of the things that you can do, for instance, is have a multi-channel check. So if somebody is asking for, if somebody sends you an email asking for a document from your organization, or the person sends you a document via email, you should also be able to confirm via a phone call, right? So you have a multi-check, not just acknowledge. Also be able to confirm via a phone call, especially when you were not expecting that thing before. Then establish verbal passwords where there are high-risk activities. I don't think we need that yet, but where you can, where possible, verbal passwords, where everybody knows what the word is. Say, what's the password? And then you go in. Um, Empower POSes. Enforce zero penalties for pausing transactions to perform security checks. Slowing down is a defense. You know, some organizations don't like it. Why have you not done this thing now? Why you empower those kind of POSes? Where somebody just said, hold on, before we send this money, why do we need to send this money? Who are we sending it to? Say, no. They said there's a deadline. We have to. Wait first. Before we have to be explaining to the CFO why we sent money. Why is this money going out? Or somebody sends you a link. You have to, when you go to that site, you see that Google game. You see how to identify phishing links. Someone sends you a link, and please click this link and fill your information before 5 p.m. today. Need 2 o'clock. If it's that important, you'll have sent it last week. It's not important. It's this is gimmick. And then now your account can be closed or you lack access. Bros. No be today. So you observe that. All right. So empower POSes. Protect organization accounts. I'm almost closing. Verify linked sessions. Just simple things to do. Audit Google terminals. So you always have to check my account. Is my account.google.com/security. I think it's accounts. I'm not even sure. I don't use Android. Forgive me. Prune your legacy APIs. This is for people that write code like me. But enforce multi-factor authentication across the organization where necessary. Just things to do, right? SIM swap. So let me just rush through this because of time. One of the things that so what happens in SIM swap is people call MTN or Glo or whatever and tell them that you have misplaced your phone. This is a phone call. You have misplaced your phone and you need to transfer your details to this new SIM that you are using to call them. And say, and you go, is that possible? And now, we don't do porting. People port SIM cards now. They port from MTN to Airtel and like that. So you just put the phone call, and usually what they will ask for is BVN and NIN. And if the person has your BVN and NIN, that's the right word. Otilo. What that person automatically does is what we call a SIM swap. And usually the aim of SIM swap is to get access to OTPs. That's why we said to not use SMS. So if all your OTPs come via SMS, Otilo Dada, Otilo Gino. So you avoid SMS OTPs as much as you can. So the warning sign is cellular terminal suddenly lose signal completely or lose call capabilities. It's a high risk if you use SMS-based multi-faction for administrative banking or primary email is a severe liability. So what you do, you can enforce a SIM lock. I think you can call your telco provider to register explicit port protection and set a SIM PIN. So with the SIM PIN, if anybody wants to do a SIM swap, they have to provide that PIN. Only you should know that PIN, of course. And that's hoping that you don't use the same PIN for your phone, for your ATM, let's not talk about it. That's hoping so. Deploy authenticators. We've spoken about this, right? To use authenticators instead of SMS. Protect your NIN and BVN and don't overshare it. And then immediately contact your carrier from an alternate line and freeze all organization-backed faults if a SIM swap has happened on your SIM card. I'll take questions, I know, at the end. Against surveillance. Against surveillance, because, we just spoke about surveillance extensively when you spoke, sir. Use Signal for sensitive team communication and set default message to disappearing. So, but we can set disappearing messages on WhatsApp too. We know, but we are saying you should use Signal. We know that you can do that on WhatsApp, but please use Signal. If you can, as an organization that does not have like an organization Gmail or something, you can ask everybody on the team to open Proton Mail. And that becomes your primary means of conversation. That's if there's no organization email, right? Everybody on the team can open Proton Mail. Always deploy tunnels to protect network DN logs on cellular conversations. So as much as you can, when necessary, use your VPN. And revoke app permission. And let me explain what this means. Some of you don't know. Maybe you know. You don't know. That your apps have more permissions on your phones than they should. Oh, so you know.
Yes. But sometimes they ask to, do you want to give them
access to your gallery.
And you two used to say yes.
No, no.
Because you need to upload
So this is the easy way out. With location, your answer can be while using the app. While using the app with location. For images, for instance, I know people like to WhatsApp already has access to images. They are not trying to steal your images. What I used to do with my images, for instance, I would say no. I would only select what I want to upload. That's the only thing you have access to. iPhone allows you to do that. So it tells you, you say no, then you select what you want to upload, and then you only allows that. That's the only thing you can access. You can't access the rest of the things. Some of you have post video, you have post picture, they have downloaded the picture, they have found where you took the picture, even though you lied that you're in Dubai. Because your phone camera automatically puts location. So I would advise for civil society organizations, I can't remember the link. If I find it, I'll send it to Matthew to send it to you guys. But there's a link that you can put in your pictures and it will strip out all the metadata. So there's what we call metadata. Did you go into digital footprint with Tani? Yes. Good. So there's what we call metadata, where in the metadata, all your information that you think you're not sharing, you're sharing it. So that metadata strips off all those things: your location, the time you took it, when you took it, where you took it, where you are, and all those things. The device type that you use. You know, there was a time it was Twitter that was doing that thing. You will tweet something, you see Twitter for iPhone. Like, must you announce that I'm using iPhone? What if I don't want them to know? Twitter for Android. Facebook used to do that then. Yeah, for Facebook for Android. Email from iPhone. So those are things that you check. Those are things you check. Once I find that link, I'll try and remember to look for that link. I'll look for that link. Because it was my colleagues that are in the comms team that often talk about it. You take that image, you put it into the link, you upload it, it strips out all the metadata and gives you back a clean slate. It doesn't save the metadata anywhere. It just separates the link and the metadata, deletes the metadata, and gives you your file without all that information so that you can safely use those things. So yeah, data minimization, we've spoken about that. Fanny spoke about that, right? You collect only what you need and use it for what you use it for. Good. So looking at all of that together. Offline encryption, store highly sensitive beneficiary trackers offline in encrypted database. Is that my phone? Yes. That's like 20 minutes time. Is that the last thing? Oh, this is the last thing. What happens if an incident happens? You need to document. You need to have a document for registry contacts, like a group of people, or you have a contact list. When something happens, this is what I call. You need to have that, for instance, when things happen. Sani mentioned reported.africa. We have that to report violations. If it needs a legal response, we can pick it up. Have immediate containment steps. Again, I'll share all of this because I'm rushing through. But all of the things that I'm saying here are line of actions from the things that we have said so far. So nothing exactly new. Out of band communication, determine how your team will sync if the emails. This one is important. What will happen if WhatsApp suddenly goes down? You know that thing has happened before.
Yes,
WhatsApp is down.
yes.
Will you be able to reach your teammates because only WhatsApp people use now? So have a plan for out of band communication when things like that happen. So your digital security toolkit, passwords, bitwording, MFA, 2FA, Google Authenticator, encrypted chat, use Signal, encrypted email, use Proton Mail, VPN access. Of course, if you have Proton Mail, you can have Proton VPN or Windscribe. Anti-censorship, phishing, secure sharing, onion share. Oh, I didn't talk about onion share. I don't have all the time. So I was talking about the fact that everybody is exposed on the internet, but there's what is called the dark web. Now on the dark web, nobody knows anybody. Nobody can find anybody. People sadly use the dark web for legitimate things, but there are legal reasons for why the dark web exists. For places and for people in places where human rights defenders, their lives are at risk, and every post, every journal is targeted and tracked. They use the dark web to feed the internet and stay hidden. On the dark web, your IP address does not exist. Your location does not exist. Nobody knows who. If I chat with you on the dark web, there's no way anybody will know who I chatted with. So you just have to hope that.
How do you access that?
There's a browser. It's a Tor browser, Tor. Tor browser. If you have the Tor browser, anything you do on the Tor browser is in the dark web. Anything you do on the Tor browser is a dark web. Yeah, you can literally hire assassins there. So this is the last thing I'll say, and this is important. So every trainer in this room, I'm considering everyone in this room a trainer, right? So every trainer in this room has enough information to then do a few things. You need to immediately get your organization up to speed with what you know. You need to start with simple steps for how they can ensure that they are safe and secure. Digital hygiene, VPN, passwords, simple steps for them. You need to empower, you need to deploy modules. Okay, we have this. Deploy modules inside the IATA directory. Oh, wait, so in the IATA file, the IATA toolkit, it's a PDF file. There are modules there that you can then start deploying. We're going to use this week. We're going to use this next week. And action steps will be secure primary emails, multi-factor, secure peer groups so people can talk to people, delegate security so you know who is in charge of what, and schedule briefing to have internal security cascade with your team within 30 days. I think I mentioned that before, that within 30 days, such and such needs to happen. So, yeah, thank you for listening to me.